Pro Football Weekly has all the news, scoops, and rumors before they happen. We bring it to you in our way we hear it. And Hub, seems like deja vu from a year ago. Last year at this time, we were talking about the owners and the players in court battling over money. And here we are again. We thought there was labor peace, and we're hearing the same things again. A big case of collusion, the players against the owners. What are the players saying exactly?
Well, you know, Adam, it's interesting. This all comes in light of the owners' revelation that they're penalizing two of their own, Jerry Jones in Dallas and Dan Snyder in Washington, for cheating the spirit of the salary cap in 2010, which was supposed to be the uncapped season in the National Football League. The players are now claiming that the owners had an unspoken cap of about $123 million, which each team was not supposed to go over. Now, in reality, that may not be the case. That's certainly not the owner's position. We'll find that the player's position is a little more complicated than that as well. But for now, that's the easiest way to explain it. The players are saying that the owners colluded to keep salaries down in the uncapped year by having a cap they weren't supposed to.
And obviously this lawsuit comes just on the heels of the appeals of the Redskins and Cowboys being dismissed. So what are the owners saying in response to this?
Well, if in fact the players claim that this cap was there, John Mara and everybody else on the NFL Management Committee is going to get the Boob of the Year award for penalizing Snyder and Jones so publicly, but they're claiming that that's not the case at all. What they're saying the Cowboys and the Redskins were penalized for was an agreement the owners had not to cheat the concept of a salary cap because they assumed there would be one in future collective bargaining agreements. And what the Redskins and the Cowboys did was sign a lot of long-term contracts with players where they front-loaded a lot of the money, which is the opposite of what you would do in a normal salary cap position, but in that way took advantage of this uncapped season. And we should point out that the Raiders and the Saints were sanctioned as well. They just weren't penalized because their overages on this cap amount were not as egregious as the Cowboys and the Redskins. But the bottom line is the owners are saying there was no cap. We just agreed that we wouldn't cheat outright against it, and apparently they feel that the Redskins and the Cowboys did.
Now, one of the big issues here is just the fact that they're even in court. I know you talked about it a lot when we got the CBA finally signed last year, is the right for the players to be in litigation and be in court. Where does that stand?
Well, it's interesting the way the players are trying to do this. They have to acknowledge that in the new CBA, they're not allowed to go to federal court for enforcement of this CBA. They gave up that right. I felt it was one of the biggest mistakes they made. So what they've done is they've gone to the 8th District in Minneapolis and asked them to reopen what will forever be known as the Reggie White case, which was actually settled in 1993, saying that the settlement agreed there would be no collusion by the owners to keep salaries down. Now they have proof that it is, so they're asking the judges to reopen that settlement and allow the players to seek further damages from that, well, 27-year-old lawsuit.
So how do the owners feel about that, going back that far?
Oh, my math not very good. Obviously 29 years now, that's how long it's been. You know, it's not about going back that far. The owners are clearly saying they're not allowed to be in court. That's what the new CBA says. It's interesting that Greg Aiello, the director of communications for the league, in this world of Twitter, his first 4 or 5 Twitter responses were, the players can't do this. They agreed not to go to court, and then finally came out and said, and by the way, there was no collusion. So the owner's position clearly is under any guise this can't be in court. Players think they can go in the back door and get there. That'll be really interesting to see.
So is it collusion?
Well, there's no question that the owners tried to put a mechanism in place to not allow teams to cheat the spirit of a salary cap. Let's not forget that a number of teams like the Bengals and the Bucks and the Bears went $20, $30 million under the cap. So we don't know if there was collusion or not. That's what makes these things so interesting. What's really going to be interesting is going to be this legal test of the new CBA, whether it gets into court or not, and whether the owners can deny publicly what they've now publicly penalized the Redskins and the Cowboys.
I think there's always talk about whether there's collusion. Agents are claiming it. You know, the NFLPA here and there kind of hear whispers about it. The ultimate, what it comes down to is, can they prove it in court, or will they even have to in court? That's what remains to be seen. A lot more on this throughout the offseason. We'll have it for you here at ProFootballWeekly.com.